The drumbeat for change resonated outside Seattle City Hall even before the City Council took up a contentious issue.
Nobody discovered Seattle, Washington reprehensible, worse than the Holocaust.
But the handful of Italian Americans said the vote would send a very different message to them.
By this resolution, you say to all Italian Americans that the city of Seattle no longer deems your heritage or your legacy worthy of recognition.
All right, folks, welcome back. What's going on here is that the Seattle School Board has replaced Columbus Day with Indigenous or Peoples Day. It is a sickening extension of the political correct nonsense that has started in this country, I don't know, more than 10 years ago, as far as back I can remember when I first started covering this issue. Joining us is DiMino, president of the Italian American One Voice Coalition and winner of the Christopher Columbus Heritage Award, not the Indigenous Peoples Heritage Award. Andre, welcome, and I don't know what to say. I just feel our country's slipping away in so many different ways, and this is really representative of it.
Oh, that's really so true, Steve, and I'm glad you're talking about this, because unfortunately, here's just another tack on just trying to chip away at the basic foundation of how this country was built.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and you have to wonder what kind of political pressure, who on the left that you know of, in this case in particular, has led the charge in Seattle to get rid of Columbus Day.
Well, it's certainly it's so obvious that they're playing up to the indigenous people, the Native Americans, and that's absolutely fine. They want to do that, that's fine. But why do they have to do it by taking something away, like a national holiday, Columbus Day, which has been officially celebrated as a national holiday since 1937 and for decades before that? And not only is that a slap against the country, but of course, this is a big day for Italian Americans. So it's a direct attack on Italian Americans.
Let me read you. The resolution says that the school board, recognizes the fact that Seattle is built upon the homelands and villages of the indigenous peoples of this region, without whom the building of the city would not have been possible. Then it goes on to say that the board, quote, has a responsibility to oppose the systematic racism towards indigenous people in the United States, which perpetuates high rates of poverty and income inequality, exacerbating disproportionate health, education, and social crisis. In other words, by recognizing Columbus Day, by recognizing the true heritage of our country, somehow racism and income inequality, all the ills of Seattle, all the ills of the country, and basically all the ills of the world will be remedied. Two ways to look at it, will be remedied by this resolution and have been caused by recognizing Columbus Day.
It's unbelievable that they're trying to connect the two. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you go back, it was actually the Native Americans themselves that were involved with slavery and so forth before any Europeans got here. I mean, why is it that it's got to be this specific focus on Columbus Day? It's a day that we celebrate. It's a day that opened up the new world. And, I guess they just don't want us to face that it was the European arrival here that started to develop this part of the world, and they just want to completely knock that down.
What is the danger here as you see it, and what could be done to combat this? What could your group, Italian American One Voice Coalition, what could you do to, if you can't change the school board's vote and resolution, what could you do to counter what they have put in motion?
Well, One Voice is specifically dedicated to going after these types of attacks on Italian Americans. But, it's not just the school board, Steve. It was actually the city council now in Seattle that did it, as well as in Minneapolis. So it's a trend that's starting to go forward. And what they're trying to do is, they're saying, well, it's a way to honor the indigenous people. That's fine. But, don't fool us. What you're really trying to do is take away Columbus Day. And we have to bring light to the fact that it's not one for the other. It's just not the right thing to do. And our group, we oppose that. In fact, I'm also the executive director of Unico National. And just to let you know, we have a national convention each year in a different city. This year, we were considering Minneapolis. But since they voted to change Columbus Day, we denied our group from going there. So we're not having our convention in Minneapolis. So we're doing a little bit with our pocketbooks, but we also want other people to stand up and say, hey, even if you're not Italian American, This was how our country was founded, and why should this be eliminated from our culture?
Absolutely, and I like what you're doing, because you're playing the same game that the left plays. They threaten economic boycotts and blackmail, and then they go through with it if the people don't give in to their demands. So what's right for one is right for the other. And I wish you all the best, Andre. We'll talk to you again. Keep up the good fight, because this is outrageous.
Well, I appreciate you bringing light to it, Steve. Again, thank you very much.
Andre DiMino, ladies and gentlemen, president of the Italian American One Voice Coalition. It's a sickness. It's an illness. Our heritage is slipping away. Our history is being rewritten, and it cannot stand. We're going to talk a little Obamacare when we come back.